Oh my mother of God, Jesus, that episode of AOT was amazing. If you haven't already, please go watch the episode because this video will contain tons of spoilers on stuff. But just to get into it, I mean, come on guys, this episode was awesome. Falco beat Gabby, we got the introduction to Willie, and I'm pretty sure at this point, AOT actually is Legend of the Galactic Heroes. We'll discuss all of that in a moment, but if you're not familiar with this series, this is my first impressions breakdown analysis series. With that all being said, God, let's get right into this. This was awesome. So the very first scene is actually very interesting in regards to Falco and Reiner's relationship. The first thing we see is Reiner, and he's talking to Falco, and Falco is using the story with Reiner to go back to, like, he left something at the HQ, but he's actually going back to Aaron to talk to Aaron. Well, I guess for him it's Kruger, but Aaron actually gives him a letter because of what he said in the last episode, this cover story that he's an injured war veteran, because it's going to get confiscated otherwise. They're going to figure out that he's actually not ill. It's actually a really great cover story, if I'm to be honest, and no wonder Falco got wrapped up in all of that because, you know, he sees an injured person with no leg and no eye. So to him, you know, that's like, well, I got to help this poor guy out. So I thought this was a really great scene all around. I thought it was really interesting though that Falco is using this go around with Reiner. He's not actually being forthcoming with really the true reasons as to why. And I think that's because Falco doesn't trust Reiner completely. I think he greatly respects Reiner, but I think after what he was told on the train and just the way Reiner acts in his position, I don't think Falco trusts him. Keep that in mind because I think that's going to be really important with the story here later on. And then we finally get to see the Theiber family. I guess since episode 1 and 2, we've heard about the Theiber family, and Magath is informed about Theiber being in town. And the first thing that's really cool about all of this is that, true to what people have said about Theiber so far in this series, they are really just this royal family. They even have like their own guard. We get introduced to Willie, who is the head of the Theiber family. The Theiber family otherwise seems to be just a lot of mothers, really rambunctious kids. I think it's rather funny that Magath asks Willie where the Warhammer Titan is and who it is out of all those people. It's Willie. Come on, like, right? Willie is the Warhammer Titan, and I don't see how Magath couldn't realize that, especially later on when Willie is talking about how all of this position of being a part of the military and all this fell upon him. It's obvious to me that Willie doesn't want to die because he has become the Warhammer Titan, and he now has inherited all of these memories from the past generations, and I think that has really affected his mental state, where he personally probably wants to see all of this hatred and war and violence and killing put to an end. And he sees, you know, the memories of the people that have come before him, and he wants there to be a hero again one day. I think it's very interesting that they bring up this Marleyan hero Helos that they joined with, as we find out later on in the commercial break thing or whatever that slide is they play that shows some of the cool info of the AOT universe, which this week was very important. If you did not read that, pause it, read it. I'll go over it in this video, so stick around to the middle of this video when we get to it. I think Magath's whole thought on war is actually interesting. He hopes that the threat of violence will basically stop war. Bullets whizzing by their head. He hopes that all of that will stop war from actually happening. Willie replies, that this nation is controlled by the Theibers. Theibers are the one that gave Marley power, but because of that, it didn't do what they had hoped. It actually threw both Eldia and Marley into darkness, which Willie then says he plans to reveal the truth. He believes they're now in need of a hero, and he asks Magath to join hands. And there are two reactions I have to this. My first reaction is, I think at this point, my theory of Willie being the Warhammer Titan is backed up, because who else would know about all of this history and say it in a personal way that he said it, like that he caused it? Willie, because he's the Warhammer Titan. And the second thought is, oh my mother of Lord, Attack on Titan is actually seriously the modern day equivalent of Legend of the Galactic Heroes. Never saw that coming. I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago or last week. Seriously, have you guys seen Legend of the Galactic Heroes? Please put down in the comments below. Tell me what you think about that. I could be totally wrong. To fit the tone of this episode, we see Piek crawling on the floor, or Pike, or how do you pronounce her name? Do you guys know how to pronounce her name? I've asked you guys a couple times on how to pronounce this stuff, and I want to get it right. So if you guys have any ideas or know the correct pronunciations, please let me know down in the comments below. But we see her crawling on the ground, and you just get your mind out of the gutter, guys. It's just get it out of the gutter. Then we see something actually really interesting. I thought this was a cool scene because Falco actually passes Gabby in the race. This is a pretty cool thing to see because as later on we'll see Gabby's reaction to it. But the others, their reactions to it are essentially that this doesn't matter. He'll never surpass Gabby. That just goes to show how confident people are in Gabby's abilities to become the armor titan, as she said. This leads to a rather funny scene where Gabby is not happy with Falco. Everybody's like, oh, congratulations, Falco, you finally beat Gabby, and Gabby is just a sore loser. And Falco says that, you know, Gabby's like, why are you doing any of this? Like she's really mad at Falco, and Falco's like, I'm doing it for you. And Gabby is so dense, like a main character in a romance anime. She doesn't know anything about what's going on, but, you know, it's because Falco likes Gabby. So the kids notice that they're building a theater. And as well, the Middle Eastern forces will be there. And we get the little tidbit that people overseas and abroad really do not like the Eldians. Maybe possibly more than what Marlians think about the Eldians. And Gabby thinks they're actually holding it here so that people will understand the struggles that they're going through. And then Gabby does this whole spiel about how she's perfect as is. And Gabby doesn't want any more Falco cheering. Gabby is not a proponent of Falco being a warrior of any kind. She wants to be the armor titan, not Falco. And she'll even go through her friends to do it. But I think it is rather interesting that Gabby thinks in such an innocent way still. She's this warrior. She's been to war. She's killed plenty of people at this point. She's been used as a human weapon. And, well, her goal is to be used as a human weapon to become an honorary Marlian. She still thinks in this way that, oh, the people that are coming over will finally understand us. And I'm not sure about that, but maybe that's just wishful thinking. So we see what Eren got in the mail. He got a mitt and a ball. That would be a very interesting game of ball Eren would play. Falco leaves and we see Jaeger enter, a physician for one of the zones, for this zone that Eren is in. And he basically tells Eren that Falco's uncle was the leader of the Eldian Restorationists. He even asks Eren to stop making Falco do favors for him because he'll get in trouble. And Eren's like, what about you? You got anything to worry about? And Jaeger goes on about how he was too strict. He wanted his son to be a doctor. And yeah, I think we know what Jaeger's been through already. We don't need to go through that again. So it's that time of the video where we're going to go over what was said in the little lore card they have in every season of AOT. So the Theiber family, they're a noble family that revolted against Eldia 100 years ago in the Great Titan War. They joined with Helios to overcome Eldia and end the war. They guide Marley and hold significant influence domestically and abroad. Essentially, they're a very important family, so don't forget about it. So we go to this party with a bunch of nobles and royal blood. They're calling Willie the kin of our saviors, which I think is such a heavy burden to put on this guy. And there's this bald guy that goes up to speak. They don't like this bald guy. He's like, let's just wash all this down. Let's just go, let it all go down the toilet with this wine, and let's just be friends again. Let's forget about it all. And he has this shit-eating grin, and everyone's angry at him. I'm angry at him. I'm like, get this bald fat guy off my screen. I don't want to see him anymore. But when Willie comes up, they love this guy. They start chanting, Willie, Willie, just like the Gabby chant. Maybe not literally, but they all chant, like, this is the king of, the kin of our saviors, like this, oh, the great Willie, he's amazing, as the ambulance in the background goes off because, it's just normal, right? To ruin a whole video. Can you please shut up? Can you please shut up? Thank you. Nope. Still loud. Thanks. Besides my mental breakdown, Willie has a solution to end the oppression that all the Eldians and Marlians are facing. So I wonder what that is. Oh, but I think we'll figure out in the next couple episodes, my friends. Festival time. The kids, they're all having fun, except for Reiner. His wallet's just, man, each time he's opening his wallet, he gets more miserable and miserable. But at the end, it's actually worth it, because Reiner actually smiles. He made a difference in somebody's life today, and that made a difference in his life. At the end, Gabby says, kind of feels like something's about to change. Oh boy. I think Gabby's right on that, because typically when you have these episodes, that's because it's usually to offset whatever the hell's happening in the next couple episodes. So my friends, buckle up. Episodes 5 and 6, maybe for the rest of the season, we're gonna get some crazy shit going down. With that being said, what did you guys think of this episode? Please put down in the comments below. Also, know that I have a Patreon. Over on patreon.com/SeaTactics, you can get access to a bunch of cool things. I even made a new tier where if you subscribe to it, you get something every 3 months. It's something cool, it's something nice, something special, something physical. You get like a t-shirt and a mug and sticker and a poster at the very end. It's really cool, I promise. Go check it out if you haven't already. Go check out my other AOT videos. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.